Hey,
Alrighty.
what is happening?
Nothing, man. I'm glad to be here, dude.
Oh, I'm glad to see you, man. Like you were saying, we don't get to get together and do this much, all that much anymore. Last week we got together on Jersey's channel, and that's always an interesting experience. I love to go on his channel, man.
Yeah, I know. I think he gets a kick out of, being the puppet master with booting people out and shit like that.
That's just his sense of humor. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
get to see it. For some
Yeah, I
reason,
think
he's never gotten around to doing that to me yet. I don't know.
you know when to keep your mouth shut. That's what it is.
Well, no, I just didn't really have anything, to say at that point.
Hmm.
Now, the very first time that me and him ever disagreed on Dario Argento, I don't think he was quite in the mode of kicking people off yet.
Right. He
So
hadn't gotten
I
up to
probably
yet.
got kicked over 3 or 4 times that day because I was standing my ground on that. I was like, no, you crazy. How could you
Yeah.
possibly say that the Suspiria remake is better than the original?
Hmm.
That's what taste is all about.
Yep.
Thanks
I,
everybody for joining up with us.
I
Of
think the
course,
last time I was here was watch along of Return of the Living Dead. So it's been a little bit.
yeah.
That was fun.
As everybody knows, I am Gorephobe, and as everybody knows, this is Eric.
Happy to be here,
He's
dude.
just known in the community as Eric.
That's right.
You are Eric, one of the best talkers in the community, man. I mean, I've always given you that credit. You're one of if I'm having a night, where I'm not feeling quite as gabby, I
Hmm.
would definitely want you with me on that stream to pick up the slack because you come up with shit to say when it doesn't seem like there is anything to say.
Well, I appreciate that. I can be I'll be the Bobby Heenan to your Gorilla Monsoon. How about that?
Yeah. Well, one thing I didn't realize is that a lot of YouTubers and a lot of content creators, they um they actually script shit. They actually write shit down.
Hmm.
I don't understand that. I can't do that. Me
Me
and Knight
neither.
was talking about that, and Knight was like, "Man, you're rare." He said most people can't just fly by the seat of their pants like that. He said
Hmm.
that's cool that you can do that. That's a good thing.
Hmm.
That was when that was a few months ago. That was when I was starting to turn the corner in my confidence.
Yeah. Well, the thing that with me is I don't mind having bullet points. Like if I'm doing like a long stream, like for Two Bitter Losers or something like that, which I know is going to be like an hour, 90 minutes, or something like that. But if it's like my normal 15-minute video, I write nothing down because then I'll
Right.
remember, oh shit, I forgot to talk about this, but whatever.
Right.
But I like these type of streams where it's just bullshit and it's just flow, all that stuff.
That's where the passion comes in, man. If you have to write down too much, you're gonna lose some of that.
Yep.
I mean, it's inevitable.
Hmm.
We got we got Ninja. What's up? How you doing, man? Thanks for coming through.
Always love seeing Ginger Ninja showing up.
Oh
Good
yeah.
dude.
Ninja says hi, Eric. He says keen to hear your thoughts on Carrie, as I know you're a huge fan. Yeah, well, you might have seen my watch along, heard a lot of things about Carrie. I
Hmm.
tell I because the way I like to do my watch alongs, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I like to delve into the characters,
Hmm.
what they may be thinking, what they may be feeling, why they're doing what they're doing, and I think that's a different aspect. It's just the way
Hmm.
my mind works. You know, I
It
people
shows how
think
much you
they're real
love
people.
the characters. You want to know what makes them tick.
While they're playing those characters, they are those people to me.
Hmm.
It seems it might be a naive way to look at it, but I think it's a very entertaining way to look at it, man.
Hmm.
And in Carrie, we could go on, start now, and still be going on at this time tomorrow if we wanted to.
Yep.
You got
It's
so goddamn, you got a great cast. You've got even better characters to go with a cast that didn't seem like it could be topped. You got a great up and coming director. You've
hmm
got a novel that was written by very first novel by a someone who was going to become a legend.
right there.
You know, and damn, the movie's just as good as the goddamn book. I don't care.
And he's lucky because he didn't think he was worth a shit. So he
Yeah,
wrote this and he threw it in the trash.
yeah,
And if it wasn't for his wife digging it out and saying, "Hey, publish this," who knows, where
right.
horror would be? Because if it wasn't for King, horror wouldn't be where it's at now. And no one can deny
It
that.
would look different. Yeah, it would look a lot different. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And I think it's the combination. You know what I mean? What he didn't do with Carrie,
Hmm.
um, Deplama filled in the gaps, and
Hmm.
I perfect type of adaptation from a novel into a screenplay is the
Mm-hmm.
ones that fills in those gaps. I happen to believe that Kubrick did that with The Shining. I feel like he filled in the gaps. I love The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read all the book.
I really like the book. I think that's one of his best books that I've read. There's only very little filler material to it, but you know what? There's like this ongoing thing with me and Kubrick's The Shining because I love the book so much, and I've warmed up to it over the years. It took me a long time to appreciate as much as I do now, because now, as I've said many times before, like our tastes change as we get older.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason why I really like to watch that movie, The Shining, isn't for Jack Nicholson. It's
Right.
for Shelley Duvall.
Oh, hell
Because
yes.
I
I'm glad you
think,
said that. Wow.
because I think, everyone knows how great Nicholson is. You know what I mean? They love, the shots Kubrick does, the ending in the maze, all that bullshit. I think people overlook how great Shelley Duvall is as a mother and an abused wife.
Oh, yeah.
Because one of the main scenes that shows that is the typewriter scene. She
Mm-hmm.
walks in there, and bless her heart, Shelley Duvall, she's got to be 90 pounds soaking wet. You know what I mean? She walks in there, she disturbs Jack. Jack goes so fucking ape shit. Beats, doesn't like beat her, but beats her down, stuff like that. Whatever the fuck you're thinking, don't come in here when I'm writing. And she just responds like, okay, because she's so used to it.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time she's disturbed Jack and he's
Yeah.
just gone off on her, and she's that type of wife. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's used to it. She's like, okay, sorry. That type of stuff. And it's just an overlooked performance because people focus too much on how Kubrick treated her. You know what I mean? And they
He
don't
drove her
realize that
foot down.
she's so fucking good in that movie. You know
Well,
what
look
I
at her as
mean?
olive oil in Popeye, man. She was olive oil.
Exactly. And it came out the same fucking year.
He's large. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He needs me. He needs me. Yeah, we won't sing it
And
because we don't want fucking YouTube. But still,
the cool thing about that part you saw with the typewriter too, man, is she's shocked, but yet she's not. She's been there, but it's been a while since she's been there.
right?
So she's like shocked. She's like, "Oh my god, this is a ghost from the past." Coming
Mm-hmm.
back. Holy shit, he's
Yep.
you know. But the whole thing of it is he couldn't be drinking now.
Right.
What the hell's going on? Because he is so fucking cool. When you hear me type, what you hear me doing? What the fuck you hear me doing here? When
Yeah.
I'm in here,
And
that means I'm working.
and
That
he
means
like hits his
don't
head
come in.
to emphasize it.
That means don't come in.
Yep.
Now you think you can, you can do that? Yeah, good. Why don't you start right now and get the fuck out?
Yep.
How do you talk to your wife like that? How do you? Oh man, and he was
And
so.
she just brushes it off and takes it.
And all she wanted to do was offer him a sandwich, and maybe you'll let me read something.
Mm-hmm.
That movie is so. I have never seen a movie so theorized and so debated by every YouTuber and every content creator
Yep.
that could even contemplate touching it.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody ever look at it. Have you seen the one? I can't remember who does it, but the one it's the Wendy theory.
Wendy theory. No.
It's the one where their theory is that Wendy is the one that's crazy.
Really?
Yes, it's very interesting. Of
Mm-mm.
course, you got Roger Egger, and then you got this other guy because Roger Egger does collective learning too, I do believe. But they've been going back and forth and on their theories and arguing now.
Okay.
What's his name? Did this theory? So this guy came out with the Wendy theory, debating what he said. So Egger came back and said, no, this is why it's not the Wendy theory. Go and check it out. You'll be highly entertained.
I'll check it out, dude.
The Wendy theory it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But we catch up here. See, we get carried away, guys. Don't expect me to keep up on this chat because we get carried away. But I apologize ahead of time if I'm not able to. I just get excited, guys. I'm full ADHD with movies.
I don't help it either, dude. So.
Well, we're just a couple. We're like a couple of kids. Because otherwise, I ramble on and go off on tangents, laugh out like exactly, yeah.
Yep.
I actually never read the book. It's one of the few of King's older books I haven't read.
I highly recommend this book. It's very short. This
Yeah, that's
hardcover is
that's unusual
only
for him too.
this is only 199 pages, and considering the average book of his is 400, you can read this. I read this in like 2 weeks. I
That's one
highly
of the closer
recommend it.
ones too, isn't it?
What's
That's
it?
one of the ones that stays closer to the source material as far as the movie goes.
Um, I mean, there's a few scenes that Deplama couldn't do because of like budget and time.
Like
You
the
know,
meteors and shit.
the
Yeah.
meteors and shit. But what I like about this, because I love the original, but there was a TV movie with
Yes.
Angela Bettis from May, which
Yes.
I fucking love.
She
This
is
one,
good. Yeah.
this one is a little bit more. It honors the book a little bit more because the story takes place after the events. And the book, if you remember, is all written from the perspective of police reports and newspaper articles. So
Right.
in this version of the movie, Sue and the guy that was with them when they killed the pig, and they're all being interviewed by the cops. So they're telling the story. So there's more to it like that
Um,
to the book. So
I love Angela Bettis, man. She is just so odd and so different.
mhm.
In a way, I think she might have been too odd for Carrie. Carrie's not so much odd as she is awkward.
Yeah, in the book, and see, the thing is, they've never really gotten Carrie right physically. In the book, she's very, very overweight, and she's covered
Yeah.
in acne and stuff like that. So she's not just an outcast because she's weird, air quotes. She
Right.
physically doesn't fit in this high school full of fucking cheerleaders and would-be models and stuff like that. But love her to death. Sometimes Sissy Spacek looks a little odd, when she's not cleaned up. But I thought Angela Bettis was perfectly cast because she's so thin, and she looks completely opposite to all the good-looking chicks, air quotes, hate to say that are in that version of it. So, and that was my problem with the remake, which has its moments. Has it?
She, but she
She's too
comes off
pretty.
like a chick that's popular already. You know what I mean?
She
She can't be awkward and
she's
odd.
too pretty. She's too pretty. All they do is they give her some clothes that have holes in it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the problem. And it's
It,
not,
it didn't
it's not
fit.
knocking her performance. It's just like you can't have someone who looks like Chloe, Grace Moretz play Carrie. They have to be
But she
unique
possibly
looking.
could.
You know what I mean?
She did. She couldn't have done a better job considering the situation because
Mm-hmm.
they asked her to really, they asked her to really step out of her comfort zone and be
Mm-hmm.
something she completely wasn't or looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that she was cast as Carrie, I said, "What? Really?"
Yeah.
I was blown away by that. When I see
Mm-hmm.
Angela Pettis, I was like, "Now that's interesting," because I had always
That's
seen
good
May.
casting. Yeah. Oh, and she's so fucking
Um,
good in May, dude.
did you see that one that she did on the Masters of Horror?
I don't remember. I've
It's
seen a
about this
handful of
weird
those.
tropical bug, and she's in she meets a girl and she gets into a lesbian relationship, and um, she's like a what do you call them, an ophthalmologist or whatever, they study bugs.
Mm-hmm.
um, well, this friend of hers from some other country sends her this bug, and it's
Mm-hmm.
this weird tropical bug they never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she has in a cage. Well, it gets out of the cage, and it's a short. It lasts about 50, 55 minutes. But check it out. It's on Masters of Horror,
Mm-hmm.
and it's here. I'll find it right now and find out the
Yeah.
title of it because I think they probably have all that shit on Tubi.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of them. I saw the Takashi Miike one, which that one was rough for me because it all deals with like needles and punctures. But then I saw the John Carpenter one, which was okay. I didn't really care for the John Landis one. Mick Garris one was good.
But yeah, I think you'll like. Yes, this one's done by Lucky McKee.
Okay.
It's called Sick Girl.
Okay. No, I have not seen that, but I remember the title of it.
Yes, it's yeah. I'm pretty sure that is the one. Yes, Sick Girl. Let's see, is she in the? Damn it, I'm trying to type it up here. I'm not real good. I got my
Here,
only.
I'll look real quick, dude.
Yeah, I got my only real device here that I'm shooting to.
Sick Girl, Masters of
I'm
Horror.
pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure that's one with Angela Bettison.
Yeah, I'll look right now, dude.
But I recommend to anybody check that out. If you like short, weird little stories
Yep.
and bugs get to you, it'll be right up your alley.
Yep, you're correct. That's her.
Yeah, she's a she studied, entomologist or whatever, and she studies these bugs. Well, she's lonely. She breaks up with her boyfriend, and she meets this really weird girl, and she ends up starting, like I said, a lesbian relationship with her. And this
Mm-hmm.
girl loves bugs, and that's why they hit it off. Well, this bug loves them too. See,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, she's good. She's always good. It's just
Decent.
it's disappointing she doesn't like the Carrie movie she was in. So that kind of sucks. But I think it's really, really good. Highly underrated.
She also did Scar. You remember the movie Scar?
Mm-mm.
It was a slasher a few years back. I don't know, maybe 20 years ago.
Mm-mm.
Scar. That's another one. She kind of plays a final girl. She's like she's the mom to the final kid or whatever type thing. But
Okay.
yeah, that's another one that she's in that I recommend. If you like Angela Bettis, check it out. But nothing can top May.
Yeah.
But also, just like nothing can top Piper Laurie. Piper Laurie. And tell me if I'm right. Is that Jesus statue in that closet? Does that look just like Carrie's mom, or does it not?
It does. I think that's the point because it's the
fucking
same
scary.
position.
It's fucking
Which
horrifying.
it's the same position he's in crucified that she is at the very end of the movie. The hair is the same and everything. So that's a Deplama. Like my Deplama catalog is very small, very small. Unless I don't realize it's Deplama. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Carrie, Raising Cain is great. I just saw
Good.
Sisters for like the first time like a handful of months ago. That one I fucking loved Sisters. Margot Kidder. I always loved Margot Kidder. I know
She's
with her
supposed to be in
man
that.
hands like a
Margaret
man,
Kidder
like you
really
said.
brought it in that, man. Margaret Kidder really brought it in that role.
Yeah, but she was really good. God, Pipe that that was intentional by De Palma. And man, what I love about Piper Laurie is we've said it before many times offline, and when we did our Mother's Day special on Mrs. Voorhees.
Yes.
What makes a great villain is they
Yeah.
believe what they're doing is right.
Yes.
Margaret isn't all there, but she truly believes that since Carrie was born out of sin, she is demonic, she's evil, and she must be put away. And that's why at the end, it's awful what she's doing, but she thinks she's doing the right thing.
Right.
And that's what's terrifying.
I think she plans on killing herself too, because I think my theory is Margaret considers herself evil as well.
Because she suffered the sin of lust.
When he took it, I liked it.
Yep.
I was backsliding. She hates herself. She feels like a sinner. She feels like she did this evil thing because she enjoyed it. He had the whiskey on his breath, and she enjoyed it. That big grin on her face. She's like, and I liked it.
And then what makes it even scarier, like in my opinion, it's not just that she liked lust. She liked it, and it was rape. You know what I mean? It was marital rape. And that, you like that makes it sound even a little bit more twisted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just that woman, man. I also seen her in a thing in the mid '80s. It was called Tough Love, and it was like it was almost like what you'd call a Lifetime movie, but it had Bruce Dern in it.
He's always good.
Lee Remick was in it. A very young Jason from Lost Boys.
Patrick.
Jason Patrick when he couldn't even grow a facial hair or anything yet.
Really?
Before he was Michael.
Okay.
He gets hooked on all kinds of drugs and stuff. And Bruce Dern and Lee Remick are his mom and dad, and they're in denial because Bruce Dern is the principal at the high school. And where Piper Laurie comes in is she is the mother of the girl that Jason Patrick starts seeing. And that girl played by you. I hate to bring it up, but it's the main blonde girl in Vamp.
Okay.
Phoefer.
See, I liked Vamp for what it was. It was fun. You know what I mean? I just didn't think, because when you requested I watch and discuss it, I just didn't know what I was getting into. You know what I mean?
I hadn't seen it since I was 12 or 13 years old either, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. I watched it back after that, and I was like, yeah. My 15-year-old didn't even finish it.
Yeah.
He just kind of kept looking over at me. And what was I supposed to say? You know what I mean? I just kept looking at him. Like,
sorry, son.
Then you got on there, and then he heard what you said about it, and he was like, yeah. Why do you do this to us? And I was like, I'm just trying to broaden people's horizons. I'm just trying to get them to check out things they haven't seen.
Nothing wrong, dude. Nothing wrong with that.
I'll never get over the Phantasm thing, man.
I haven't watched it for the second time yet. So give me a chance. Now that, like I said, now that I know that I'm getting into a fucking fever dream.
But at least you don't think it sucked. I just don't.
Oh no.
I don't think you walked away from it knowing really what you had just checked out. Yeah.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know what I was getting into, and I did my review like maybe 2 or 3 days later, and it still hadn't processed. You know what I mean? Because it was just
7 like I did.
Oh God. Oh man. But I grew to love that series. And like I said many, many times, Reggie Bannister is now one of my favorite fucking horror movie characters of all time.
Reggie Bannister is the key. He's the one constant, man. He's the one. He is the one constant. He's the one that consistently stays good, stays entertaining. He's funny because he's not nearly the badass that he tries to be, but yet somehow he always comes through.
Poor guy's got no luck with the ladies, no matter how hard he tries.
And they're always into him, but then something happens every time. You know what I mean? He always gets it, but he only gets a little bit of it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's man, I'm trying to think here. I talked about so many things with Carrie. I talked about Travolta. I talked about I mean, the show has 2 of my favorite horror chicks in the world, man. Nancy Allen and PJ Souls.
Mm-hmm.
I have both the pictures up your side,
Yep. And what I love about King in general, and it totally comes out in this movie, more so Nancy Allen over PJ, because PJ's more the sidekick, you know what I mean? She's in the background, helping poke the bear and stuff like that. But I've always said King is always great at showing that the real monsters are us. It's not the fucking clown in the sewer. It's not, the baby come to life out of the burial ground, or the creatures in the fucking, the fog, the mist, and all that shit. Yeah. It's us and what we do to each other.
Because all that shit was done because they were throwing, in the book I do believe they were throwing tampons at her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because they were throwing tampons at her, they got caught. They got in trouble. She didn't want to serve her punishment, yet she wasn't able to go to the prom, so it was Carrie's fault.
Exactly. Yep. She couldn't take responsibility, and she's such this big shot. You know what I mean? She's used to having all these fucking followers. You know what I mean? All these little minions or whatever. Yeah. But this is senior prom. No one's like, no, I'm not going to miss my fucking prom for you or for Carrie. You know what I mean? We're going to do the punishment, and we're going to get it done. And Sue is just so fucking stubborn, and she's just flat out evil. You know what I mean? A high school senior who takes part in fucking killing a pig just to dump blood on some kid you want to bully, that's flat out evil to me. You know what I mean? And Nancy Allen is so good in this. And I've seen her in tons of things. Is it Dressed to Kill she's in with Deplama? I think it is, right?
Dressed to Kill, Blowout. She's in Blowout when she reunites with Travolta in Blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, she's also in RoboCop.
RoboCop 1, 2, and 3. Even Poltergeist 3. You know what I mean? She tried her damnedest in what she had to work with, but she always brings it. And she's just so vindictive and evil in this movie. She truly is terrifying. I was the outsider in high school. I was the fat kid who sucked at sports, had no self-confidence. So I only had like 2 or 3 friends that, I stuck around with. And I would be terrified if I had to have a class with this chick.
Because that
Not
bitch
just
would
that,
do anything.
exactly, to get what she wanted.
Because
And then
she
you
didn't
got
think she
you
didn't
got
think
that.
think
Go
in a
ahead, but
million years that she would actually miss that prom. That they would actually keep her from going to prom. They're
oh yeah,
actually keep her
because
from the
even
prom.
daddy, because she's daddy's girl. She got him wrapped around the fucking finger. He couldn't do it. And then you got that little shit PJ Souls in the background doing what she's doing, manipulating, the votes, all this and that, just so she can look good to
Can you
Chris.
believe? Can you
That's
believe
all
that?
it is.
Can you believe that shit they went through? All that shit they went through. PJ Soul's boyfriend went and manipulated that dude so he could get on the committee on the board. And
Yep.
all this shit just to humiliate this girl who had never had her moment in the sun.
Yep.
Finally got her moment in the sun. Her dream night.
Yep.
Like, I love how that's one cool thing about Deplama. He takes it in slow motion as she's walking up there.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like to me, Tommy would have thought, now what the fuck is this? There's no way that they're going to vote Carrie as prom queen. Something's got to be wrong here. But he was so happy for her.
Yeah, that's what I think it was. I think he was, because he was starting to fall for her. I guarantee you.
Yes.
I don't think he would leave Sue. You know what I mean?
I do.
You do?
I think Sue. I think Sue lost Tommy that night.
Okay.
He was into her.
He was having such and see, again, that's what I like. You have that contrast of these evil fucks with Billy and Nancy, and then you have Sue wants to do the right thing. She says, Tommy, take her to the prom, and he doesn't want to do it. He's like, oh, okay, fine. It'll shut up my girlfriend. Maybe I'll get laid later, type of thing. You know what I mean?
For you, baby. For you, I'll do it. I don't want to do it just like the most unpopular girl in the school. Nobody likes her, but I'll do it for you. And then he gets there and he's like, God damn, she's beautiful.
Yep. And that's one of my favorite scenes is when he's basically begging her. He's like, well, I'm not leaving your fucking doorstep. Your mom's going to get pissy. I won't leave until you say yes. I love that little between the two of them. And then he slowly is enjoying himself. And then he's falling for her. It's so sweet. And it sucks because you are loving this couple and shit's going to happen. And it's just the performances, because Sissy Spacek looks gorgeous. You know what I mean? And her reaction to having a good time. This is the first time she's been out of the fucking house, away from mom. She's the center of attention. She's got the cutest boy in the school.
Man. She just can't believe it. She's like, I can't believe this.
And it's William Catt, right?
Yes.
Just the way his genuine smile when they're, hey, we can't sign for ourselves. Well, why not? Of course we can, sure. But he's basically, fuck them,
To the devil with false modesty, yeah.
Yep, and then she does it too, and she's having fun. And then the best shot in this whole movie for me is they're dancing in the prom, and De Palma's got them on some type of spinning device. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And what that does, that helps you get lost with them. No one else exists but those two. You know what I mean? Because everything else is a blur.
And then it goes. The words of that song's about her, man.
Yep. And then when it happens, again, what De Palma does is so great. It happens. All you hear is the sound effect of the blood, and then you just hear the bucket.
Yeah.
Boom.
He shows you.
Boom.
He shows you the whole step all the way up, and you're seeing it from Sue's point of view. Sue's looking here. She's looking here. She's looking up here.
And she sees the fucking rope.
And that right there, to me, shows his serious Alfred Hitchcock influence. Because that's Hitchcock did. You know what I mean? Show you the whole way up there. You can see doom impending all the way up. Yep. The only ones who don't see it is the ones that should.
Yep.
And she goes and tries to help and tries to stop it. Well, the gym teacher doesn't trust her ass at all because she thought it was a setup to begin with.
Rightfully not, yeah.
If she hadn't stopped her, Sue would have stopped them from doing that.
And the thing is, you can't blame the gym teacher because she's looking out for Carrie too. And then just to get back to Tommy, the last thing we see before that bucket cracks his skull and kills him, again, no dialogue, no sound. You see him yelling and he mouths, "What the hell?" Yeah. He is legitimately fucking pissed at what happened to this woman.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Tommy such a good character, such a good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
in this movie full of assholes.
You can see why him and Sue were together. Because Sue the shit she did at the beginning of the movie, she was joining with her friends. That was peer pressure. She was being an athlete, but she immediately realized how wrong she was.
Yep.
But you can see why her and Tommy are together because they're both good, nice kids.
Mm-hmm.
See why they attracted together.
Yep.
And I genuinely believe that Sue, if that doesn't go down like that, Sue ends up with a broken heart that next day. Because he didn't even, Sue was running around there. He didn't even see Sue there.
That's true. He didn't even notice. He was too busy looking at Carrie.
And she was running around and she was drawing a disturbance from the teachers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Good
see
point.
nothing but Carrie and the music and the ambiance.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even really see his girl being there.
Yeah.
Because he was all about Carrie.
Yeah. I never thought of it that way. Yeah.
You know, and she's not so concerned with because if she'd have stopped for a second and looked up there, she would have seen how enamored he was. Her man was with Carrie.
Yeah,
but
she would have known she was in trouble.
She was worried because she could see some shit was going on.
Now, here's the thing. How do you think she would have reacted? Because, like you said, she's a good person. So I personally think she would have been disappointed, but I think she would have taken it in stride because she's not like Nancy Allen's character. You know what I mean? I think she would have been disappointed. She would have been upset, but I think she kind of would have been happy for Carrie.
Yes.
If that happened.
Hurt by him, but happy for Carrie.
Yeah.
And she would have felt a little betrayed. But at the same time, they don't really delve into letting you see how close their relationship was. So maybe, they were seniors. Maybe she was planning on, maybe they were both thinking in the back of their heads, hey, we're going to go this way after this year. You don't know that because it doesn't get into that part.
That's true.
Because otherwise, I don't care how sorry she was, she wouldn't have sent her man to her only senior prom with another chick, no matter how sorry she was. If she was totally head over heels in love with him.
Right.
She wouldn't have.
Right.
So I think maybe it was a thing where they were coming to the end, maybe anyway.
It's entirely. And that is another one of my favorite scenes is with them, and he hasn't agreed to it yet, and he's stuck watching TV, and she's just fucking ignoring his ass with her face down in her math book or whatever, and he's just fine, I'll do it, and he goes back to watching TV. That's the levity that is needed in this film. It's just sprinkled here and there, and it's perfect.
She didn't look up. She was grinned.
Yeah, because she knew she fucking won.
Oh, but she knew it was going to work because he was sitting there watching like this. He kept looking like, it's like, damn it. He wasn't going to win that. But yeah, it's, yeah, man. When I was watching, last time I watched along, I could not get over it. For some reason, my whole life, I have not been able to get over that creepy, scary ass little Jesus in that closet, man. Like, you could, how terrified she was when she was dragging her to the closet.
Yep.
There wasn't no boogeyman in there except for that little Jesus thing. That's a boogeyman. That's scarier than any Michael Myers, man.
Well, it's also the way Deplama films it. The way Deplama films it. It's in the dark. He films it from an off angle. You know what I mean? And he makes it like it's looking right at you. So it already looks uncomfortable, but now it's staring right at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, and then that music plays, the organ. It's like, oh my god.
Yep.
And you can tell she's been put in there a lot. This is a good point, I think.
Yep.
You can tell she's been put in there a lot because once she settled down, it's like she knew immediately where to go, light the candles, and get ready to praise and apologize and
it's routine.
be forgiven by the evil mommy Jesus thing.
Yep. It's routine. It's like, every Tuesday, mom's going to beat me with the belt and stick me in the closet.
Yeah. I started my period. I got to go to the closet and pray to the crazy Jesus. That fucking thing. Who has a Jesus like that with lit up eyes and shit in it? It had arrows sticking out of it, man.
Margaret White does, and that's it.
It had arrows sticking in and out of it.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is wrong with you people, man? I want to know who made that Jesus. I want to know. Because whoever it is, he did a damn good job.
Yep.
It's like, well, I mean, getting back to the mom, man. Like the whole neighborhood is creeped out by her. You know what I mean? She goes up there, and they're ready to give her money just to get rid of her.
Because what was it? Sue's mom even says it on the phone. Oh, Margaret White's here. Yes. You know what I mean? And then Margaret's doing her spiel. You know what I mean? She's trying to spread the gospel and the Bible, and hey, and then literally just to shut her up, Sue's mom says, "Here's like $20 or whatever."
These are godless times.
Yeah,
I'll drink to that. And
yeah,
she's like, oh, sorry.
yeah.
Like,
And
like what you said, it's always the red. It's always the red. And she's like, it's not red, Mama. It's pink. To
yeah,
her mind, that dress was red.
yeah, yeah. Another thing, towards the end, because we're all jumping around this, and that's why this free flow talk I love is let's get to the end, right? When Margaret does the deed, she's going to kill Carrie. Literally stabs her in the back, figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
I mean, I never picked that up until I was an adult. You know what I mean? Mom literally stabs her daughter in the back. You know what I mean? And as Carrie falls down to the ground, great stunt.
Oh, God, yeah.
The way Deplama has Piper Laurie fucking floating down the stairs.
Yeah. That
With
crazy
that
grin.
Cheshire Cat grin. She looks like an evil angel because she's in white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it looks like the angel from hell or the angel of death, however you want to look at it. But she's literally dressed in white like an angel, floating down to take care of Carrie. And mix that with the fucking score, and it's just creepy as hell.
And it's heartbreaking too, because you're already heartbroken for Carrie. She walks all the way home after all this happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for some reason you don't feel bad about other people that got killed or burned up. You just feel bad for her.
Well, I felt bad for the gym teacher.
Right, yeah. But she gets there, she takes her bath, she gets cleansed from what she's just done. Basically, that's figurative.
Mama was waiting for her.
And then she's ready to say, Mom, you were right. You know what I mean? They all did laugh at me, which they didn't. Only one person laughed. And that's BJ Cole.
Yep, it's all in her head.
And yeah, I'm ready to give in, and you were right, Mama. And then the only person she had left, the only person in the world she had left, tries to kill him.
Yep. That's what I mean. Like literally stabs her in the back.
She can't win for losing. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Because Carrie, after she stabbed her good enough. That was probably going to kill her.
Yeah, she would have bled out.
Yeah, I mean, by the time she hit the bottom of those steps, there was blood pouring out of her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, when I dive into something, I usually don't dive like, you know what I mean? I don't start at the beginning and go through. I feel like everybody does that. I like to just have a conversation about it.
It's easier that way for me. Excuse me.
I've tried a lot of that way. Just like, for instance, I've thought about starting to do, reviews on movies. For some reason, I just don't do that. I don't review films.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
Well, see, the thing is,
done one, never.
Well, see, the thing is, it's hard. Like, this is just for me. You know what I mean? It's hard to get as much information as you want out in like a 10 to 15-minute video, because unless it's like a live stream, no one's really going to sit down and watch, a fucking hour-long review. Right. But see, what's great with you is when you do these watch-alongs, you can talk about whatever the fuck comes to your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just your talent, dude. Because you could talk a mile a minute, that's the best of them. But I think your skill is when you have that 90-minute time limit to say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I just go along with it, you know what I mean? And I talk about what's going along, you know what I mean? I actually tried to do an actual commentary. Mine's more of a commentary than it is a watch along.
Right.
People can watch along if they want, but if you're expecting to hear the film, then my watch along is not for you. Right. Because I'm going to be, and if you're expecting non-spoilers, mine are not for you, because I'm going to talk the way through it. It's just what I do.
Well, that's why I liked doing that the Return of the Living Dead one, because we were bullshitting the whole time. You know what I mean?
Some people don't like that though. Some actually don't like it. They want to be able to hear it, which I don't understand that.
Well, it's different strokes for different folks. My thing is, how do I say this? This is no disrespect to some of our mutual friends here who have their watch-alongs, but a lot of times people do watch-alongs and there's no dialogue. They're just sitting there watching the film, and then it's just, whatever they feel like saying at that time. It's for some people if they're really into watching the movie.
Right.
I like when I guested with you, I like having it on the background, but the focus is just the conversation.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Watch the film anytime, but how often you get someone who really knows their shit talking about it? You know what I mean? Here, let's catch up here and see what we got
Sure.
happening here. We got waffles. We got everybody saying hello to everybody. Cool.
Katie's here.
Uh, so that's my entire problem with Andrew Garfield and Spider-Man. See, we're way behind here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what his problem was. That he's too pretty to play Peter Parker. Okay.
Yeah, they know the routine. You know, like I said, you got your regulars. They know the routine that they keep coming back. So that shows you're doing something good, dude.
Yeah, I got the strangest channel, man. Oh, I will leave a watch along. That'll have 70 or 80,
Mm-hmm.
but by the next day it'll have 200 or 300. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the damnedest thing, man. My I Spit on Your Grave has got like almost 900 views now. I Spit on Your Grave, the
Mm-hmm.
remake. Yet Halloween has got like 96.
Well, you know what it is, in my opinion. Everybody and their fucking mom has talked about Halloween. That's what it is. That's my opinion.
But I give a different. I give a character viewpoint. I wish more people would listen to that Halloween because I give a Michael Myers character viewpoint to certain points of that movie.
Here's a suggestion then. Maybe change the title of your watch along, because if they just see Halloween 1978 watch along, they might not realize your take on how you're talking about it. You know what I mean?
I for a while I switched it and I was putting live commentary / watch along.
Mm-hmm.
Now I switch. You know how I am. I switch it all the time. Now it's a watch along / commentary / dive / delve / discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And you pretty much get all that shit all at once because
Right.
I'm like a bag of cats, man. You know, I generally try and watch the movie beforehand because I am legitimately ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell when I'm not medicated. So that way, like with the Mother's Day, I can talk about it, still have it going. Yeah, just like I'm getting ready to do Black Christmas '74 with Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
He seen Black Christmas '74. I said you watch Black Christmas '74 before we do this watch along.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hear this movie to really appreciate it. And if you haven't seen it, and you jump into a watch along with me with this movie, I will spoil the hell out of every scene.
Yeah, you won't be able to pay attention.
He said he's going to.
Hey, Trenchy.
Hey, Trent, what's going on, man? He joined my humongous watch along.
Who, Trenchy?
Yeah, and I have introduced him to Humongous and The Exorcist 3, and he loved both of them.
Oh, I remember Exorcist 3. Trenchy's awesome, but yeah, I remember Exorcist 3. And man, what a movie that is in itself. Yeah. And it goes to show that
I couldn't talk about it because he hadn't seen it. So
I
couldn't talk through that one. So I was just like, it was driving me crazy, man. I was like,
and then that's what I love about Exorcist 3 is it shows that there's a lot more to Brad Dourif than just fucking Chucky.
Oh, dude. Look all the way back to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Cuckoo's Nest. He got nominated for an Oscar in his first fucking movie. Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the cast of that. I mean, you talk about a cast. Look at that cast.
Danny DeVito, Christopher Lloyd.
Oh my God, man. The weird guy that does I just went from caffeinated to Cinca, guys. So
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah,
he's in Ghost. He's the guy that teaches Patrick Swayze how to use his powers in Ghost. You know what I mean?
My God, that is the scariest version I've ever seen of going to hell in a movie. I swear to God.
Oh, when those fucking like demons, just the black demons, they come and and then how they pull people literally into the shadows.
That is scary as shit. You can't get away from him. Like that one guy that actually did the killing of Patrick Swayze.
Yep.
I love how he played terrified because he was scared shitless, man. Because he couldn't see, he didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yep. Plus the fact that he literally just saw his dead body on the fucking car.
That was the most unique version I've ever seen of demons coming up from hell and taking you down to hell after you die.
See, that's another movie. That's another movie I tell people because they think Patrick Swayze, spirit of a boyfriend comes back to protect his girl. They think it's just a cute chick flick. There is so much more going on in that fucking movie than just being a chick flick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's layers to that film.
Mm-hmm. That's a fantastic movie.
Whoopi Goldberg is absolutely fucking hilarious in it.
Molly, you a danger girl.
Yeah, she says, Rita Miller, yeah, that's my name. And she goes, oh, like that. And the guy looks at her and she's, oh, it's a little gas. I get a little bit of gas sometimes.
Can I keep this pen? Thank you.
Well, also, can I have that back? I wrote down the wrong name.
And then and then Patrick Swayze makes her give all the fucking money to the church. You made me give my money to a bunch of fucking nuns. They can't even have sex. What are you? Oh, come on, Sam.
Yeah. It won't long after that is when she started the relationship and started seeing Ted Danson. Remember they had a little thing for a little while.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Before he married Mary Steenburgen.
Yep.
I didn't know. I thought him and Whoopi had been together all these years. And found out no, he's been married to Mary Steenburgen forever.
They broke up because they had their little fling, and then they broke up pretty much after they did like a roast of Whoopi Goldberg, and he showed up in blackface, and that just kind of destroyed his career for like the longest time, and it just kind of helped break him. And she was all for it. You know what I mean? She said it's a roast. There's no boundaries in a roast, and it was what it was. But
I seen, speaking of roast, I seen a creepy ass roast. It's on YouTube where it's got some tubers talking about it, and it's what's his name? I can never remember his fucking name, but he played Danny Tanner. Bob Saget.
Oh, Bob Saget.
And everybody was getting on there was roasting him, was poking at the fact that he, you know, they were hinting to the fact of him drugging up the twins and messing around with Mary Kate. And how much truth is there to that? And why did they think that shit was funny? They were trying to.
Well, I think what it is, honestly, is Bob was known on Full House as this cleanly, anal retentive, everything's got to be clean, squeaky clean dad. When in real life, and his comedy is fucking filthy.
Right.
His stand-up was complete 180. Like even if you've ever seen the movie Half Baked, he's like, you know, when Dave Chappelle is going to rehab for weed, and he's like, yeah, well, I used to suck dick for coke, and you're going to rehab for a little weed. Yeah, Bob Saget was very dirty, like on the stage. So I think it was just that's how the Comedy Central roasts were. They're very vulgar, very sexual, and stuff like that. They just try to push the boundaries.
So inappropriate, man. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Yeah.
Especially in today's world, as sensitive as people are, you know, about race and about sexism and about, you know, CP and, you know, all that kind of shit.
Yep.
And they were doing that and laughing.
Different times, dude. Different times.
Well, one of the tubers took that shit to heart, and they made a whole hour-long video about how Bob Saget's this dirty old man that molested the Olsen twins.
Oh no!
And, yeah, and it's got like 5 million views or some shit.
Well, of course it's got 5 million views. People want to know what that psychopath is talking about. You know what I mean?
He was serious about it. He believes it. He was like this sick man all these years. These poor girls. No wonder they had problems. No wonder they, you know.
No, those two kids, their parents were on sets the whole time. Those two kids' parents were controlling that empire. Yeah. There's no way they were not watched.
The only time that they left it to this one woman. I was watching this thing. It was like the biography of it. This one woman, because the girls kept wanting to, when mom was on set, they kept wanting to pay attention to mom and talk to mom. So they had this other lady, like this nanny. She came in and she was the one that took over. She went to mom and dad and was like, "It'd be okay if you guys aren't here all the time, because let me take over this and see how it works, because they're wanting to watch you, you know, because they were just little, you know."
Yeah. Yeah. When the show was over, I think they were like 10.
Yeah.
So.
But what is let me see. I had a question here. Oh God. Now Travolta had done Boy in the Plastic Bubble already.
Right.
And then Carrie was his second film. And then he did Saturday Night Fever.
Was it Saturday Night Fever right after?
Saturday Night Fever. All I know is they were all right there in the era of Welcome Back, Kotter, because he had the Welcome Back, Kotter hair and everything still.
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
Because remember, he came back in like season 4 or 5 of Welcome Back, Kotter, and his hair was shorter.
Yeah, Kotter ran from 75 to 79.
Right.
Carrie was 76, and Saturday Night Fever was 77, and then Grease was 78, and then he
Yeah.
did Urban Cowboy in 80. Jeez,
Oh,
wow, he had all those hits.
Urban Cowboy is a fantastic film too.
I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
I love it. Well, I absolutely love it. I still think to this day, I think that is Travolta's best performance of his career.
I'll have to rewatch it, but I'll tell you, I did have a thing for Deborah Winger when she was younger.
Oh yeah,
God, she was gorgeous.
yes, yes. That's just and Scott Glenn plays the asshole.
He always plays the asshole, but he's good at it. He's good at it.
He played a young asshole, a young woman beating asshole that
Mhm.
she went to because they got married too quick, and then they ended up fighting, and she's better at riding the bull than him, yada yada, and
Yep.
she runs into Scott Glenn, and Scott Glenn just got out of prison, and he's dangerous.
Mhm.
So split, she ends up seeing him, and he beats on her, and then
Yep.
Travolta ends up beating the hell out of him after he robs the place. It's fantastic.
Scott Glenn's always good.
I
I love Scott Glenn mainly in Backdraft. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. Scott Glenn's in that.
A Training Day was a
Yeah.
good role for him too.
Even Daredevil. When he was Stick, he was Matt Murdock's trainer.
Sons of Land. Yeah.
Yep.
Young God, man. Did you see a movie? It was made in the mid '80s, and it was about a serial killer, and his son or something was psychic, had a psychic link to the serial killer somehow. It was called Slay Ground,
Mm-mm.
but it starred Scott Glenn,
Mm-mm.
and this killer was a deprived motherfucker, man. I remember it was one of my mom's favorite shows. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, remember that title, Slay Ground, with Scott Glenn.
Okay.
And the kid, I don't remember. The kid was famous for a little while. What do you think of the teacher? Do you think the teacher, when she's saying that Tommy's poem is beautiful, and he goes, "Beautiful? Do you mean for amber skies? Is that the beautiful you mean, Carrie? Beautiful. Do you think he was poking fun at her, or do you think he's just weird?
I think he's
Because
just a weirdo. I think he's just a weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he was poking fun at her at all. Because not everybody is bad in this movie. I think he's just kind of an over-the-top, poetry-loving literature teacher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's all it was.
Did you see the watch along of Carrie that I did? I mean, did you actually visualize it?
I've watched some of it. I haven't gone back and watched the whole thing, but I still plan it.
Watch the part where they're getting their tuxedos.
Oh, geez.
And the '70s music is playing.
That's my own.
I'm literally dancing to it, man.
I'm gonna watch it for that. That's my only thing that if I have to knock the movie is when it gets that type of when it does that type of stuff. I don't like.
It's dated.
It's very or when the girls are doing the punishment. You know what I mean? When they're doing the sit-ups and you got that type of that annoying music to me. But that's just my taste. You know what I mean? It's just kind of cringy and off-putting. It doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't fit with the rest of the movie. You know what I mean? It's too goofy.
I had to ham it up with that music when they played that. And I was loving it, man. I made a complete ass of myself. You got to see it.
I will.
I was a complete ham, I'll admit it. It was just fun. I was having a great time. Yeah, he did that. Well, see, you know how the casting went to that, right? Like half of those people could have easily ended up in Star Wars.
No shit, really? Like who?
Yeah, they were holding casting. Deplama was here, and George Lucas was here, and
in like the same building.
You're sitting right beside each other. They had a table here and a table here, and they were discussing who they wanted, who they taking. And it's like, well, I think I want blah blah blah. He said, okay, well then I'll take blah blah blah. And that's how it ended up. Like William Cat was up for Luke Skywalker.
Ooh, that would have been weird.
But George wanted Mark Hamill. He said he's a little too old. I just don't think it would work. You know. I know. Said, but I think he would be a good Tommy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like. Well, Lucas always said that he wanted a specific look for Luke as well. You know what I mean? But I love William Cat. You know, he pops up every now and then. Another movie I love with him in his house.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's so much fun with him and George Wendt.
yeah,
Oh my god,
Goldberg.
it's so much fun. The sequel's fun too, but man, it shows that William Cat can be funny too. He's got good physical comedy as well because that movie is fucking Looney Tunes. You know what I
Believe
mean?
it or not, I'm walking
Walk.
on.
Yep. Greatest American Hero. Yep.
Yes, he could fly fine. It was the landing he had the problem with. Plan.
Oh man, great fucking TV show. So much fun.
Yeah, oh, it was entertaining as hell, man. That show,
Hmm.
I still remember every fucking word of that fucking song.
Yep.
Kurt Russell was at that casting call too. Kurt Russell tried out for Han Solo,
That would have been weird too. In a good way, because Kurt Russell's my favorite actor of all time.
but he didn't end up getting either one of them. I think he got used cars instead.
He was, and I'm okay with that because Used Cars is fucking great. Yeah, because Used Cars I think was 1980.
Was it? Well,
Yeah,
he got something else. I think he might have still been doing Disney shows at that time too.
yeah.
Maybe he did World's Greatest Athlete or something like that. You remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's where he got
Computer wore tennis shoes and all that shit.
But
Let's see
there's
here.
actually footage of him doing Han Solo's lines, and they're sitting there. He's sitting there with Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill, and he's doing Han Solo.
Oh yeah, well, okay, well he didn't get cast, yeah, because he goes from 76 to 80, so he must not have gotten cast for Han
So he just
Solo,
got
and then he
turned
just
down
didn't
in
do it. He
general.
just didn't do anything until 1980, and then
Wow,
1980 was Used Cars, and then came 81 Escape from New York.
that's crazy. He didn't get. Neither one of those directors wanted him. Isn't it funny? And it ended up being Kurt Russell. Well, at that
Mm.
time, he had that. He had always been a kid in all the Disney movie shows
Yep.
throughout his life. He wasn't
Yeah.
known as doing anything hard at all.
Yeah, in the 60s, the one and only, the original Family Band, the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes.
Yes.
Now you see him, now you don't. World's Strongest Man in the World, all that shit. And then he got started on Gilligan's Island, if you remember that.
No,
One of
I
his,
remember.
one of it was the black and white version. One of his very first appearances ever. This was before the Disney shit. Kurt Russell played a little boy, and he was called Jungle Boy. He was just this little boy that they found on the island. He
I
didn't
didn't see
speak. He
that.
didn't say any English or anything. I'll have to send you the link. I'm sure it's on fucking YouTube. But yeah, that's one of his
That
first
sounds
roles ever was Gilligan's Island.
That reminds me of Sean Penn was kind of the same way. Arthur Penn, Sean Penn's dad. Arthur Penn was a director. Well, he directed a few episodes of Little House on the Prairie, and there
Okay.
was one particular episode of Little House on the Prairie that Sean Penn is a kid and he's in it, and it's one that his dad Arthur Penn had directed, and it's Sean Penn.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's just weird how that shit happens. I can't even imagine a kid that little of Kurt Russell. I got to see that.
Yeah, I'll find it. If I can't find the link, at least I'll find a picture and I'll send it to you to Instagram or something. And that man has that same baby face. You know what I mean? You could tell it's Kurt Russell.
I remember my mom was just flabbergasted. She was blown away when Escape from New York came out. She said, "That's Kurt Russell."
Mhm.
Because they showed the trailer, and she said, "That's Kurt Russell." And I was like, I didn't know who the hell Kurt Russell was. Nobody did, but she did because she was older and she grew up watching that shit. And
Yep.
she was like, she said he was in a bunch of Disney movies as a kid. She said
Yep.
he was clean cut as hell, and now here he is in a John Carpenter movie wearing an eye patch.
Yep. Oh shit! Compare him to like Bone Tomahawk and the Disney movies, that type of stuff, or the Hateful Eight. So you compare those movies to his clean cut, Disney shit.
Or Stuntman Mike.
Yep. Stuntman Mike, what do you do? I'm a stuntman.
Yeah,
I do stunts.
Yeah. And my brother was a stuntman too. What's his name? Stuntman Bob.
Oh man, I love everything Russell's in, even if it's something like the Christmas Chronicles where he's fucking Santa Claus. You know what I mean? And in part 2, Goldie Hawn shows up as Mrs. Claus, so it was cool seeing them reunited on the screen together. Because, God, man, Overboard with them, so great. Swing Shift. Oh, of course, me. I love fucking Big Trouble in Little China. That's my favorite Carpenter flick. And my favorite Kurt Russell movie.
Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a Tango and Cash. Oh my god!
I was just gonna say Tango and Cash. Yep. And Trenchy just said another one of his first roles was kicking Elvis in the shin in a movie. Yes, he's in an Elvis movie as a kid. I don't know if it's Blue Hawaii or something, but he kicks Elvis in the shin, and later on, he plays Elvis in a John Carpenter film.
Yes, he also played Elvis in Forrest Gump.
That's right. He was. He just blurred out the face.
Yeah,
Yep.
because he does that voice so well. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I remember who it was I told that to, and they was like, no. And I was like, for real, that's Kurt Russell, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Kurt Russell can do Elvis. It's like you never seen the Carpenter Elvis, I take it. Watch
Yeah.
it because he does a damn good job with the
He
lip.
nails it. He nails it.
It's actually a good show. It was I seen that when I was a teenager for the first time.
Yeah, it was a TV movie.
Yeah, because I grew up watching all the horror from Carpenter and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't realize he had made an Elvis movie. And then I heard about this. I had to check it out because I like Elvis anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Carpenter and I like Kurt Russell. I was like, shit, we can't lose here.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife at that time is the one that played Priscilla, which was Susan Hubley.
Okay.
Susan Hubley was his wife. She's also in Escape from New York. She's the chick that's in the diner that gets pulled down through the floor.
Okay. Yep.
That's Susan Hubley. That's his wife.
All right. I have no idea. I did not know that.
She also plays she plays in Vice Squad with Wings Hauser.
Oh God, I haven't seen that in forever.
He's the one that plays Princess. That's Susan Hubley. That was his wife at the time. Then they split, and he never got married again. To this day, I don't think him and Goldie are.
I don't think him and Goldie are married. They said they both done it before. They don't need a piece of paper, and they've been together for 30 years, if not longer.
But he raised Kate. As far as Kate's concerned, that's her dad.
Yep.
Kurt is.
Yep.
Speaking of that, just to go on a little bit, like I said, I'm going to do The Wrestler next week. Soon after that, I'm going to do Almost Famous.
Ooh, that's a good one. Kate Hudson and Jason Lee. Jason Lee is so good in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, just forget me. I'm only the singer. Yeah, it's just, oh, man.
And that showed Jason Lee can do more than just fucking Kevin Smith films. You know what I mean?
And Chipmunk films, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great because that same guy, I can't remember his fucking name.
Cameron Crowe.
Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Billy Crudup.
Yes,
Billy Crudup.
Yes. It blew my mind when I found that he was Dr. Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole first part of the movie, because that's Watchmen's a long show, especially if you watch the longest extended cut. So you don't actually see him until way later. You just see him as Dr. Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and it's kind of a shame the role that he played in Alien Covenant too. There's two shames about Alien Covenant. Number one,
I haven't seen that one yet. I've been wanting to, but it's just I've never been in the right mood. I
like it. To me, I like it as much as I do Prometheus. A lot of people shit on it, and I don't know why. What's his name dies in the first 2 minutes of it. So it's a problem.
James Franco, I know that.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the biggest stars in there, and it's like.
Well, I think he's only in it because he did a favor to Danny McBride, because I think Danny McBride helped write it.
Yeah, so he just kind of stuck his name in there for some reason. I just seen some shit happening, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, oh my God, that's James Franco. I guess he's not going to be in it. But it's got people shit on that a lot, I think, because of the Elizabeth Shaw character. They want to see her continue on and on and on. You know what I mean? But because she is Noomi Rapace is a good actor.
Yeah, I want to see what the big deal is, why everyone dislikes it. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it because I want to watch it and pay attention to it. You know what I mean?
You're not gonna get that from me because I happen to love it.
Yeah, and I really dug Prometheus.
Yes. That David character is key, man.
Oh, Michael Fassbender's amazing, dude.
First time I've seen him was in 300. I think.
I like him. He is in the X-Men prequels. He plays the young Magneto.
Magneto, yes. I love it. And he ran into the two
Oh, the
German.
two. Yeah, when he's hunting down the Nazis in the
Yeah,
bar. Yeah.
and they
Or
realize who he is and shit, and they freak out. You know what I mean? It's like so they try to he just throwing the knife.
yep.
You
Or
know,
the scene, or when he pulls the dude's fillings out of his teeth. Oh, goddamn.
yeah, that X-Men First Class was a good one, man. I wish they
Yeah.
would have stayed a little more on that. I thought they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, that was good. My favorite is Days of Future Past, but that's because I'm a huge sucker for time travel movies.
Plus, it's got what's his name in it, man, from a House of or Game of Thrones.
Oh, Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
great.
You know he's going to be in the Toxic Avenger remake of all people.
I didn't know they was remaking it.
Yeah, I think he's going to be Melvin. I don't know if he's going to be Toxie, but I think he's going to be Melvin. You know, but the pre-Toxic Avenger. So
Toxic Avenger is crazier than hell, man.
it
My
is,
son
man.
loves it.
All four of them are.
Um, I didn't realize I had never seen it, believe it or not, up until my youngest son. I hadn't seen it. That's one that I hadn't seen yet. So I didn't
Hmm.
realize how it would insinuate sexuality and all this kind of stuff in it and all that kind of stuff.
That's
So I was in the
trauma.
middle of
Yep.
this realizing that, wow, okay.
Yeah.
But my son just kind of laughed at it, so I just
Mm.
kind of let it go.
Yeah. But that's trauma. You know what I mean? They like to push the envelope, and if you got to blink and you'll miss her. That's from Marissa Tomei's very first movie too. Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of people started in trauma.
My favorite trauma is still Mother's Day.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, you're not much of a rape revenge guy.
Yeah, I that's another reason why I want to see it, but I don't because I'm a big trauma fan.
There's only one
Like,
little scene of that.
yeah, I mean it depends on the context too, because there's lots of rape in trauma films, but it's I'm gonna I'm gonna sound like an asshole or weirdo saying this. It's done in a more comedic fashion. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So you can't really take it so serious
Right.
with this concerning the subject matter, but you know, when you have movies like, you know, Tromeo and Juliet and Sergeant Kabuki Man and all that stupid shit. I mean, you going into trauma with a certain mind frame, and you know it's going to be off the walls, over the top. You can't take anything fucking serious. A lot
Yeah.
of it is done for shock value, but a lot of it is done at like attempted humor too.
Yeah. Them and Full Moon are like the redheaded stepchildren of the horror industry. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They're the ones off to the side doing just something just that much different. You know?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. They're but I mean, look at the shit that Full Moon's turned out, man. I mean, you know, without Full Moon, we wouldn't have the people that put together Dolls, and in my opinion, Dolls is the best doll movie there's ever been.
I
People
love
disagree with me
dolls.
because they love Puppet Master so much. I like Dolls better.
I've never seen a Puppet Master film.
You've never seen any Puppet Masters? Wow.
Mm-mm. My buddy Steve, he sent me like the whole collection, like on DVD. And one of these days, I'm going to watch. It's just I just don't have the time for it. But I want to see at least the first one because I know he's in the very beginning, and then he dies. William Hickey. I'm a big fan of William Hickey. You know what I
First,
mean?
second, and third are all real good, man.
Are they? I
Stay
think there's
away
like
from the one with Corey Feldman.
yeah, that's the one where like it's demonic toys versus Puppet Master or some bullshit.
He is awful, and somehow he had forgotten and lost every bit of acting skill he had ever acquired when he made that.
He hasn't. I think it's when he got out of rehab. He just
He is
it,
so hokey in that it's
he's
just
he's awful in everything post rehab. Like you got Stand By Me is my favorite Corey Feldman movie. You know what I mean? Nothing against the Lost Boys. You know, I love the Lost Boys for what it was, but he was fantastic in Stand By Me because he brought that drama.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He was a great child actor. Gremlins, everything, License to Drive, The Goonies, all the classic 80s and 90s stuff. Even in the first live action Ninja Turtles movie, you know, when he voiced Donatello, he still did a great voice job. But then once he came out of rehab, it's just like missed performance after missed performance after missed. He's just phoning it in now. You know what I mean? He's just kind of banking on his name, and he's not banking on his skill, which is a disappointment
Yeah.
because he was
I
so talented.
I always liked Haim. I always thought Corey Haim was better. I
Mm,
I always preferred Haim over Feldman.
I think Haim was the better actor. Feldman had more charisma. That's how I looked at it. You know what I mean? That's why Feldman was usually always the sidekick. You know what I mean? The one with all the funny lines and stuff.
Yeah. He was the better character actor. Yeah, he could do more. It's just somewhere along the line he just I don't know.
Yeah. I just think his personal troubles just got in the way and it just consumed him, to be honest.
That is one thing. I mean, Feldman did get his shit together finally after he married probably one of the biggest bitches on the planet
Yeah.
and used him and pushed his friendship away with Haim and everything else. She was such a bitch, man.
Mm-hmm.
But this wife he's with now, I guess, is pretty cool. Um, you know, we got completely off the subject of the Carrie.
Hey, that's what we do, brother. It's all good. You know, you said a lot with Carrie with your watch along to begin with. You know what I mean? I think we kind of use honestly. Honestly, I think we just kind of use this as an excuse just to get together and bullshit. You know.
Yeah, I didn't stop, and I don't. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the only thing is, with Carrie, there was a couple of parts in Carrie where I actually got a little choked up. It's when she's heading up to the stage when I
Mm-hmm.
know what's going to happen. For some reason, you know, I started talking about it was her big night. It was a night she waited her whole life for. She'd always been the underdog. She'd always been the one not liked, and everybody thought she was weird, and she was never included in anything. And now she's with the most popular guy in school. She's prom queen, and she's getting ready to have her whole world smashed. And it actually kind of choked me up.
Well,
You know, it's kind of crazy.
no, it's not crazy at all because it makes sense. This is the first time she's ever been happy.
Yeah, yeah.
The only
Yes.
person she knows is her mom, who verbally abuses her, mentally abuses her, physically abuses her. She's an outcast at school. She's picked on. If you think about it, she's only really picked on by a select group of people. The rest of the school just doesn't know her. They just kind of avoid her because she's weird, but they don't pick on her. The only ones that pick on her is Nancy Allen and her group. You know what I mean? So she's happy. She's with a guy that's treating her right. She's having a blast. She's falling for him. You know, she's with the captain of the track team. And these people are, in my opinion, are legitimately clapping for her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter. They could have won. In my opinion, I think Tommy Ross and Carrie White could have won prom king and queen, even if they didn't fix the ballot.
Yeah, because you know how easily everybody took to her when she showed up there, and she had, you know what I mean, and she had made her dress and all this kind of shit, and they were like, really? They started taking to her.
And that's another reason why I feel so bad for the gym teacher, because you knew she was genuine.
And she's seen her laughing at her too. She flipped.
Right, but she wasn't. Like you said, the only ones that were laughing at her was PJ Souls. She laughed. She elbowed one of her friends to get to laugh, and you know she didn't because they all had this disgusted look on her face. Yeah, that's just in Carrie's mind. She's thinking everybody's laughing at her. Because I personally think because Sissy Spacek, you know, when she is when she's boom like that, look at her eyes. She's in a trance. She doesn't realize what the fuck is going on. You know, it's tractor beams. I'm going to take out everybody. It's all reaction. And my God, what an iconic shot that is. Everyone knows that shot of her just standing covered in red. You got the yellow behind her and then the flames. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with her arms stiff down the side with her hands in like a clinch like this.
She's rigid. It's like rigor mortis, dude. You can't move her. And then, of course, you know, the go-to for Deplama, you have the split screen, which is great. And you have the sting from Psycho.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Because you got Pino Donaggio doing the music. You know, like, you know, something that crossed my mind I never thought of. That was almost like Stephen King's Cinderella story. That was a Cinderella story.
Yeah, if you think about it.
Just ending up in a Stephen King kind of way. You know? Kind of like The Mist ended up in a Stephen King kind of way. You know what I mean? But one thing I mentioned at the very beginning of that watch along, I think you probably heard that part, is the theme of Stephen King's movies and the bullies. You could tell he was bullied. He was
Hmm.
fucked with. He didn't fit. You could just tell.
Well,
How
that's
many
why.
of his
Well,
movies don't have a bully in it somewhere?
you definitely, and that's why you can tell, like, because he grew up, excuse me, in the 50s. That's why all of his fucking villains are usually greasers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can tell Stephen King lived an interesting life. If you don't know, like, he was one of those, hey, dad's gonna go out for a pack of cigarettes and never returned.
Right.
So mama had to raise Stephen and I believe his younger brother. And remember, this was back in like the 40s and 50s. So it was single mom raising two kids. As I think she was like a fucking seamstress or a waitress. She might have been a seamstress because I think that's where he got the idea to make Margaret White a seamstress. You know what I mean? But and then so that's where he got that. He got inspired for The Body, Stand By Me, the kid getting hit by a train,
Right.
because he witnessed his friend hit by a
Right.
train and killed in front of him. And no one knew what had happened because Stephen walked home and didn't speak for 2 days due to the shock. And
Yeah.
then they found out. So a lot of his real life. Oh, he was he worked a lot of odd jobs. Speaking of Carrie, the tampon scene, plug it up when they're throwing at him.
Yeah.
He didn't have a lot of experience with women, and at the time he was working as a janitor, and he didn't know what tampons were really for. Well, he knew what they were for. Let me rephrase this. He knew what they were for, but he didn't know about the dispensers that the women had in the locker room. So one of these days, he's mopping up the floor, and he asked somebody, "Hey, what is this thing?" And they explained to it, and then light bulb.
Oh shit.
Let's
In
put
the
that.
girls' locker room, the
Yep,
dispenser. Hell yeah.
yep. So
Yeah.
a lot of
Huh.
interesting shit about him. He lived an interesting life. I mean, like I said, just think of it: if his wife wouldn't have pulled Carrie, the manuscript, out of the garbage.
Yeah. Like he was an English teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jack Torrance, English teacher.
He wrote. He was in a hotel, drunk, when he got the idea for The Shining. He got drunk one night, and he was literally lost walking the halls. And he was in
Yeah.
Colorado, which is where The Shining took place. And
Right.
he was so drunk, and he was just looking around, and he saw the emergency fire hose on the wall. He's like, "What if that thing came to life and attacked me?"
Yeah.
And that's in the book, and that's in the Mick Garris miniseries. The fire
Yes.
hose comes alive and tries to attack Danny. So he's got a lot of
It's like the animals, the hedges.
stuff from his.
The hedges. It wasn't a maze like that with all these real high things. They were shaped like animals and they came to life. I remember
Yep.
my mom told me that shit.
That was a good scene in the book, and it was decent for a TV miniseries budget. You know what I mean? For what it
It was
was.
miscast in a lot of ways. Now I thought Steven Weber did all right,
I
but
thought
I did
Steven
not
Weber
think
was good.
Rebecca De Mornay fit Wendy at all.
No, because Wendy has she's very strong in the book. Okay,
Okay.
completely different from the Shelley Duvall character. But I think they needed a Shelley Duvall character to compensate from the Jack Torrance character.
Right.
So Rebecca De Mornay, she did decent, but I think she's too strong of a woman in general. I mean, this is the chick from
Too
The Hand That Rocks the
attractive,
Cradle. You know what I
Too
mean?
attractive. It just didn't fit.
Right.
She was too attractive.
Yeah, it's not a
Why?
knock on Shelley, but Shelley's so unique looking. You know, I
She
mean,
looks she looks
her.
like a regular frumpy mom. She looks like a regular abused, frumpy,
Mhm.
withered mom.
She's very skinny. She's got. I hate to say this, what I was talking. She's very skinny. She doesn't have the best teeth. Her eyes are really, really big. You know what I mean? She is not the stereotypical woman. She
Yeah,
fit
yeah, and she
to be
doesn't
in the
feel like she
abused
has a
one.
bit of self confidence. She,
Hmm.
her whole world revolves around Jack and mainly Danny,
Right.
and she is so used to the way things have been that it's just normal to her.
Well,
Which
that's what.
which is such a theme that goes on so much in real life.
Well, like I said, with the whole typewriter scene, it's Tuesday. It's about time for Jack to yell at me again. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It's but then she has her moments too. She
Hmm.
doesn't fall for it when he's, "Oh, Wendy, baby, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. I think I'm really hurt here."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'm sorry, I'll send somebody back to let your ass out." It's like when she
Yeah.
cracks him with a bat and drops him down the fucking stairs.
Yep.
That was I heard. Now I didn't see us at the theater, but I heard when that happened, the whole fucking theater erupted in cheers.
Oh, I bet, because she finally was able to fight him back.
And then the
Yeah,
next scene, she's dragging his ass to the fucking
Mhm.
to the dry storage.
Well, you've seen that story many, many times. It's like the
She goes to a
abused
retard.
woman finally gets the comeuppance against the dude that's
But she had
been
no choice.
beating on her.
They
You know,
were
it's a fist
trapped
pump
there
moment.
with him. You know, her and her son were trapped there with him.
Yep,
Danny had already been hurt.
yep. Broken arm. Yep.
That's what changed it. His shoulder was injured. That's what changed her. That's when
Hmm.
she decided that the shit wasn't going to go on anymore. That's when
Yep.
she, okay, you hurt me, but now my son is hurt. I'm putting an end to it here.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that if it was still just her, I don't think she would have done anything. But
Right.
since Danny got hurt, there you
She
go.
had to be. Mama Bear came out.
She had no choice. They were
Hmm.
trapped with him in a blizzard.
Yep. And see, and again, that's what I said. King is good at making the humans the villains. Look at it with Henry Bowers and
Yeah,
Bells and Patrick Hochstetter. If we're going with the new version,
eventually
because
come back.
Patrick wasn't in the miniseries. Look at what happens. Well, look at Shawshank Redemption. Look at some of the warden there, and then Clancy Brown's character. Look at fucking the Green Mile, Percy Wetmore. The shit he does
Eventually
when
come back.
say that
Eventually
again.
come back with Robert Russler and his group.
That is my favorite Stephen King TV miniseries movie adaptation. I fucking love Sometimes They Come Back. I love Tim Matheson, Robert Russler. I've enjoyed him since Weird Science, Vamp.
So that was one
Uh,
thing you enjoyed about it. Yeah, I figured you'd enjoy that when you seen that. Hey, it's Robert Russler.
yep, Nightmare on Elm Street 2. But he is so good and very charismatic. See, that's what's good about Stephen King villains. They can be charismatic sometimes. He's so charismatic as the villain in Sometimes They Come Back. Brooke Adams, I love Brooke Adams. I loved her in The Dead Zone. She was really good. Um, and again, I'm always a sucker for the 50s. So I love the car, the look, all that shit. But then again, look at the villain. Look in The Mist. Look at how everybody turns on each other in The Mist, and they're only stuck in that supermarket for what, 24 hours, and they're already planning to fucking sacrifice people to these monsters.
All day, all night, into the next day. I think it's about all it is. And by that time, they've already broken into fucking groups and mobs and everything else.
Yep,
I
and it
love
showed.
Marcia Gay Harden in that. She is brilliant.
Oh, she is so good as being the woman you want to hate. But again, you see her point of view. She
Yeah,
believes everything that she's doing is the right thing to do.
because she believes in the Bible so much, she sees
Mm-hmm.
all relations coming to pass.
Yep.
She doesn't think about it. It's just something where the government fucked up some shit. She
Right.
thinks it's actually signs of the end.
Yeah. It's the end of days.
So she's doing what any Bible thumper would do and
Yep.
trying to round up all the people there to try to save them.
Yep.
Even though she completely goes batshit nuts over it and gets stupid about it.
Right. But that's how he makes his. And what I like is, every now and then you get those repeat actors. I love how William Sadler always shows up in these movies. You know what I mean? He's in The Mist. I love him as Haywood, the kind of dumb prisoner in Shawshank. He's very briefly in Green Mile. He's the dad of the two murdered girls, but he's so good. And that's another movie that gets me going.
Well,
The,
yeah,
the
yeah,
Green
yeah. I know who
Mile.
you're talking about. Yeah, I know the guy you're talking about now. I didn't put William Sadler along with that guy. That guy's been in a million
Well,
fucking movies.
I know you've seen Demon Knight, Tales from the Crypt movie. He's the lead hero, the guy that's running away from Billy Zane.
Right.
Yeah.
My favorite character in is Sam Rockwell in
Oh, as Wild Bill or Billy the Kid, one of the two. I think he's Wild Bill. Yeah.
it's something like that. It's some kind of crazy batshit
Yeah.
something. It's,
Yeah.
oh my god. Yeah. That movie's that's a harsh one, man.
It
That
gets me every time at that end. Michael Clark Duncan is so fucking good.
it's so sad. Yeah. I didn't know until I was watching the autopsy on the Reels channel. They
Hmm.
did autopsy on him. I didn't know he was dead.
Yeah, he's
Come
been dead for a while.
come to find out that they suspect his wife or girlfriend or whatever
Hmm.
did something to him. His
They
sister and everybody has been trying to pull.
Omarosa, she's
Yes,
famous because she was on the Apprentice and she was the bitch. And they were engaged. And the reason why a lot of people think she might be involved is you saw how much fantastic shape he was in,
oh yeah,
and it was a heart attack. And then everyone said, even Rodman called her out. Like Rodman called her out. Like I was a sucker for Celebrity Apprentice. All right, shoot me. But
yeah,
Rodman,
what's on it?
Rodman and her were on the same season, and he says, I've seen you with these crocodile tears before at Michael's funeral. He called her out on it because after Michael died, she sold a lot of his fucking possessions on eBay.
Crazy.
Wife doesn't do that. You know what I mean?
You know she's a king evil bitch or queen evil bitch
Yep.
when she can make Janice Dickinson cry.
Yeah.
If
You
can
don't make Janice
Dickinson
Dickinson cry. Janice Dickinson will slit your throat in your sleep.
right, she is a hard ass bitch, and she made her cry. So that tells you how hard Omarosa is.
Yep.
Like she's a sociopath. I have no doubt at all.
Mm-hmm.
She used him because she wanted to be a star. She had minimal blah blah blah. Those kind of shows stardom, but he was a real star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh God, his first major movie was Armageddon, and because of Bruce Willis helped him get the Green Mile, and in the Green Mile is like his second or third movie, he's nominated for a fucking Oscar. And then he's doing stuff like Daredevil, which say what you want, it was a hit. The Tim Burton Planet of the Apes, say what you will, it was a hit. Whole 9 yards, with Bruce Willis. He had a career going.
Fought the Rock and Scorpion King, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a hit too. He had a career.
That was the beginning of the Rock we know now.
Yep. Now look at him.
Speaking of that, we got to touch on this.
Sure.
Coming back.
I've heard. Yep.
I don't like it, man. I like the
way
things have been going. I like the way they've been going. He did what he did. That's great. But it's a happy workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes the way it's going. The wrestling's better. They're filling the arenas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he could handle the fact that they were doing better without him.
Without him. He needs to be constantly in control. That's what it is. But he's done it for fucking 40 years. Damn near. I think that's what it is. So we'll see.
He doesn't have it anymore, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
His sucked, man, the last few years.
Yeah. He's just out of touch, is what it was.
Like we wouldn't have the Sami Zayn thing if Vince was still in charge. No way.
No way. And that Sami Zayn thing, that is money.
I love it.
How many times can he make those Usos break character? And now he's doing it on purpose. And Triple H loves that shit because he doesn't take the camera away. He doesn't pan away. He keeps it on it because the fans love it.
Yeah.
So
also cool. And he's such a fucking dork. Like they'll come out with like the Usos music, and they'll come out looking all hard, with Solo, and he's doing this kind of shit. Fucking.
Oh, Solo is like a taller version of Taz to me. He's just a fucking grump. So I like that though. I love how the Usos are kind of warming up to Sammy, and Sammy's just this crazy fool, and then so he's just trying not to break. You know what I mean? And it works perfect. It works perfect.
See what he did to? Did you see what he did to Bro? With the he of course Umaga was his uncle.
Yes.
He's wearing the tape around there and having the thumb. He's doing the thumb to the throat thing like Umaga did.
That's cool.
And he beat the hell out of the Bro. Sitting him away on a stretcher.
Jeez.
He showed some serious killer instinct. I like that part of his character.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you want to touch on in Carrie or anything like that?
Or? You know what? Before we close, what do you think about the other two versions overall? Nothing really compares to the original, but what do you think about I'm not talking about the Rage Carrie 2. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Okay, the Rage Carrie 2, it's fun trash. I like how Amy Irving comes back. That's kind of cool. Right. But it's a total fucking 90s movie. You know what I mean? From beginning to end. But you know what? If you're bored, it's not a waste of time. But I love this TV movie. I
Yeah.
love the Angela Bettis one.
Yeah, they
That's
showed
honest.
a lot of guts for that too. They went a lot of places that they usually wouldn't have went. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I love the girl they chose to play Sue.
Yep.
Um, and I loved how they didn't try to steal off of or play off of the Brian De Palma one. They
Exactly.
completely went their own way. There was
Hmm.
nothing the same really, except
Yep.
for the main story.
Right.
Now, didn't Patricia Clarkson play Margaret in that one?
Yep.
Okay, and then in the one with Chloe Brands,
It was Julianne Moore.
that's what I thought. Okay,
And what I like about
both good
Julianne,
actors.
what I like about Julianne Moore in this is she's the complete opposite of Piper Laurie. Piper Laurie is so over the top and extravagant with like her arms. She's like she's conducting an orchestra. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And Julianne Moore is so low key.
yeah,
And you feel more pain in Julianne Moore's version because Julianne Moore tried to abort Carrie as a baby, self-inflicted abortion, stuff like that, because she knew it was wrong. And she's a self-mutilator to try to help with the stress. Like, she's always stabbing herself with the knitting needles and stuff like that. So she was more sympathetic as Margaret. So I liked how she wasn't trying to copy Piper. But it's definitely the weaker of the three.
definitely.
I think
That's the one we've seen once.
they rely way too much on special effects. And by the end of it, they got Carrie floating around like she's a fucking, ghost or whatever. It's just
The way she does her arm, just all that different kind of stuff. It puts you in. It's almost like she's auditioning for the Scarlet Witch. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's just kind of laughable at parts.
And
Hard to top this one.
She's better. She's better than what she was allowed to give in that.
Yeah.
She really is.
But I will say this. I know a lot of people don't believe me. I think the Angela Bettis one, honestly, it's neck and neck with the original for me. You know what I mean?
Who directs that? You know? Is anybody we know? Or? Because that couldn't have been easy to screenwrite that and direct that.
It was written by Brian Fuller, who wrote Hannibal for TV.
Oh, okay.
Catherine Isabel's in it from Ginger Snaps.
Yeah, I forgot she was in there. Yeah,
she was the Piper. She was the PJ Souls character.
Okay.
Carrie TV movie was directed by David Carson. I have no idea who that is.
Huh? No, me either.
And the only difference is, they ended it because they were apparently going to do a TV series.
Right.
Carrie was on the run, going from place to place. I guess kind of like the fucking Incredible Hulk, you know what I mean? Saving people and helping people, and it just never came to fruition. That's why she survived the end of the movie.
Now, did you see the TV remake of Children of the Corn?
No.
Thing that they did? Well,
no.
The girl that plays Sue plays the Linda Hamilton role in the remake of Children of the Corn.
Oh, no shit.
And she's a fucking bitch. She's nothing like Linda Hamilton is in Children of the Corn. Like, this guy can do nothing right. You know what I mean? She's one of those. You know those people that no matter what you do, or you just sit and drive along, and this person has to make a comment constantly to you. Always some kind of a shitty comment. That's the kind of character she plays.
Well, that's how the short story was. They weren't a close couple in the short story. They were. It was. I don't know if it was a failing marriage, but it was on the rocks.
Well, in the original Children of the Corn movie, they hadn't got married yet. Linda Hamilton was like starved for his attention, but he was all focused on his career.
But yeah, in the short story, it's a rocky relationship. So I think that could be why they did it for that.
Oh, they're definitely rocky in that remake because these two bicker the whole time. The whole time. Yeah. But as far as those go, yeah, I do like the one with May. I thought she was a little too weird.
Okay.
I loved how Sissy Spacek found that perfect balance. You can just feel the awkwardness coming off.
Yep.
The not knowing what to do or how to fit in or how to talk or how to be. Like remember how she reacts? Remember when he says, "Oh, to the devil with false modesty," and and he checks the box.
Yep.
And he looks at her, and she checks the box, and then she goes, "Remember,
Yeah.
remember." She checks the box, and she's like,
What I love is I love
like
how
she's embarrassed to do it.
she has that smile though when she says to the devil. She checks
Yeah.
it off, and then I think what it is, she hides her face because she can't believe she did that.
Yeah, yeah, because she's never, you know what I mean?
She's going. It's like going against Mama's word. You know what I mean? Saying to the devil. You don't say that when you come from a home of Margaret White.
Yeah,
You
and
know what I
she's
mean?
simple of a person to vote for herself. Like she never would have done that if he hadn't influenced her and made her feel like it was okay to do so.
Exactly.
You know? Like I think he would have had trouble getting rid of Carrie. You know what I mean? Like if he just decided he wanted to stay with Sue, I think Carrie would have been trying. She would have been fucked up over it.
Yeah.
I think it would have caused Carrie more harm than good in the end if he would have stayed with Sue.
Yeah, but now that you say it, I think there was a chance. I think there was a good chance that there would have been something between Tommy and Carrie. Hadn't it?
He was all about her. That wasn't part of the deal. That wasn't part of the thing. It was to
Yeah.
take her to the prom and give her a chance to have her night at the prom.
He wasn't supposed to have fun.
And he was all about her. Always remember when he gets up and walks away, the gym teacher, she got Betty Buckley comes sits down, and he comes up and says, "Hey, wait a minute, what are you doing? Trying to steal my date?"
Yep.
He meant that shit. He wanted his seat back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he could sit there with her. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
she's talking about all the places beautiful. He said, "Hey, you're beautiful," and he meant that.
Yep.
And I just think that movie to me is just. It's nostalgic. Because I don't know if you read my thing when I was advertising I was going to do it, but I had a thing about long, this long written about how nostalgic and how much that movie means to me and how important it is.
I'll go back and read it.
You know what I mean? And you can always tell because I'll either have a little thing, or I'll have a real long one about something I'm going to do. And if it's that long, that movie is extra to me. Yep. If it wasn't for that, I would probably like the May one better. I like it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I get you.
But to me, that Brian De Palma, Sissy Spacek.
You just got that attachment to it, dude.
And I love Sissy in it. I'm a Travolta fan, but two of my favorite horror girls are in it.
Yep.
I mean, I like De Palma.
Yep.
So, on that note, yeah, man. I really appreciate you joining me to talk about everything we talked about.
No, dude,
we're entertaining.
It's been a long time, man, and I'm glad. I kind of invited myself a little bit. I told you, I'm like, dude, we just got to talk some Carrie. Are you free this Friday? No, I got some stuff going on. How about next Friday? You got it. So, and I'm not the type of guy, you know what I mean, to invite myself. I always say, like with Night Watch, I said, I'm a vampire. You got to invite me. You know what I mean? But I'm glad I did because it's been too fucking long, and it's always fun bullshitting with you, dude.
You're always welcome, and you definitely know that, man.
I do.
So I mean, I will send you the link if you're able to join the wrestler.
I will try
doing that. I have a lot of passion for that one too. That one gets me. I absolutely adore that film.
Mm-hmm.
For many reasons, it's me in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
I've been a lot of places and done a lot of things. I've not always been the dude that you see in front of you now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're invited to that, and I got a lot of good shit coming up, man. A lot of
can't wait, dude.
I'm branching off. I'm not all horror anymore.
I know, but I'm gonna put you on the spot, man. I cannot wait. Your best of 1981. I'm waiting.
I'm halfway done with it. Let me do this real quick. Let me tell you what I got cooking up here really fast, guys.
Oh yeah, go ahead, dude.
If you guys got time to indulge me. Yes, my top 10 horror of 1981. I am. It's so far. It's running about. By the time it's done, it'll run 15 or 16 minutes. I had to do top 10. 1981, I couldn't do top 5. I tried. I've got 10, and I've got 8 to 10 honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
I also got my new Nightmare on Elm Street thing I'm working on right now.
Yeah, you told me about that. I'll keep it quiet, but that's going to be good, dude.
It's going to be basically before Freddy became the Nightmare, and it's going to be
Hmm.
a three-quarter, just like the Halloween thing. It's going to be a three-quarter. Um, the um, the first episode I've already named. The first episode is called "In the Flesh."
Okay.
Just like the first episode of Halloween. My Halloween story, I got pages right here.
Hmm.
That's Halloween, and it's like 5 or 6 pages long.
That's
And
cool, dude.
I'm making my own Halloween too. And yeah, basically the premise is what if Laurie Strode didn't survive Halloween?
Okay.
It's my answer to Halloween fucking it.
We don't need to get you on that rant right now about Halloween ends and the Blumhouse
but,
shit.
but that first episode is called "It Was the Boogeyman."
Okay.
And those shows are going to be called. I'm going to call it. And on Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm not changing anything on that yet. I'm delving into what he did before he got caught and burned up. This is when
Mhm.
he was actually molesting, fucked up, killer.
Yep.
So
Springwood slasher stuff. Like I said, I'll help you out with what I know too if you need any.
um, Halloween, the first episode is going to be done next month. Number on Elm Street, I'm not sure. I've got a lot going on. I'm also doing
Hmm.
a thing right now called "In Defense of the Star Wars Prequel Trilogy."
Okay.
Um, and if you read, check out Instagram. If you read my thing on it, you'll see what my points are on it.
Okay.
Also, next month I'm starting a show. We're going to do like once a month. Me and Phil are going to do a horror memorabilia show and tell type thing.
Oh, that'll be cool. I've
Um,
been very interested in some of the stuff you've got. Just your autographs and stuff like that.
yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to pick like an hour, and me and him are going to go through 3 or 4 things. We're going to show and tell, talk about them, show them off to everybody, compare and contrast, and mine's better than yours, and all that. You know what I mean? Just fun kind of shit that us guys do.
That'll be
Just
fun.
fun shit. Also, I'm also getting ready to start something. I don't want to say too much about it because
Hmm.
I don't know what Ninja's saying yet, but it's got to do with Ninja.
Okay.
He had a really good idea. Asked me to be involved. I said hell yeah.
Very cool.
And coming this Monday, I will be recording a new show. I'm not going to say this person I'm doing this with, but you guys will see it, and it's basically a horror topic of the week along with your current horror news, 30 minutes every week or 30 minutes every other week.
Very cool. Okay.
So that will be a surprise when that one's. We're not doing it on the one I was talking about, the horror news. We're not doing that one live. We're going to record it and then we're going to play it back so that we can join the chat. You
Cool.
know,
So you have to set it up as like a premiere.
yes, yes.
Yep.
This week I started on Friday. I did CARRIE discussion with Eric tonight.
Hmm.
Um, I'm doing the thing Monday morning. We're recording, me and this friend of mine.
Hmm.
Tuesday, let me see. Yeah, okay. Wait a minute, hold on. Which night am I doing that?
I think Tuesday is the wrestler.
Okay, so I'm doing a watch along Monday night. It's going to be horror. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be a part of the Monday night horror show.
Okay.
Usually on Tuesday it's Forgotten Horror Archives. Not this week. This week it's going to be the rest, and it's going to be at 9:05. It's going to be at 9 o'clock because I heard people. I heard them clear. I put out a thing there where they would vote, and like out of 15 votes or something, it's like 87% said they wanted me to do at least one show earlier than 11 o'clock.
Hmm.
So that told me all I needed to know. And then Friday at 10 o'clock, we'll be with Patrick for White Christmas 1974.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the community back together, a little unified, a little happy again with each other. But
Hmm.
it takes everybody to be involved, though, not just one or two people.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people need to act their fucking age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because I don't feel I'm hard to get along with.
No,
And
dude. You and me
most
clicked right
people,
away.
yeah, most of the people that you know what I mean, and most of the people that I deal with are hard to get along with. There's a couple of people out there that don't want to play the game. You know what I mean? And it's so easy to do. all you got to do is think about something besides yourself, and you figure out how fucking easy it is.
Well, I've always said it like this: it's easy to be nice. It's it takes effort to be an asshole.
But I reached out to Patrick and asked him if he wanted to do Black Christmas a few weeks back.
Cool. That'll be
Because
interesting.
unfortunately, a few months back, we had a little bit of a falling out, and that bugged me a lot. And I didn't
Yeah.
like that, and that caused my other show to fucking shit hit the fan with it. And now that I'm on a roll and things are going good and I'm feeling good, I want to make peace and have everybody get along and everybody kicks some ass.
Hey, that's great, dude. Good for you.
And every one of those shows and projects that I mentioned there is either with just me or with a different fucking person. So I don't mind doing watch alongs by myself. I think that was big for me. Because at first I would cancel them before I would do them by myself.
Right.
But then finally I just started doing them, and that's when I realized, hey, I don't need anybody else.
Yep. You can carry it yourself, dude. You're a good talker, like I said.
That was critical. That was a transitional period. When I realized that, is when I realized who I am.
You're I've said here on other channels and in private. It's a whole new Gore, and I'm happy for you, dude. You found your stride, and I'm not going to reveal too much of our personal conversations, but I'm glad you didn't go anywhere. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, because I was this close.
I know you were.
I'll never come back around again because I got to where I just didn't trust anybody.
I know.
I was just like, man, I don't, on the lighter side of things, did you see Night past 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, and 13,000?
What?
Like 2 days.
Bullshit.
He's over 13,000 subs now. In 2 days,
motherfucker's at 13.9. He'll be at 14 by Monday.
2 days ago, he hit 10.
He was just at 10 like a fucking week or so ago. Wow.
He has exploded. He has now joined
Jesus Christ. Good for he is one of the best. He is one of the legit nicest people.
He is, yeah.
Coriander and Killian too, but he is legit. Just 1 month ago, he was celebrating 5,000.
Yeah.
I hate saying it like that, but that fucker has gained 5,000 subs in a month. But I'll say this:
did I lay? I predicted he would be at 10. I let Metch predicted he would be at 10 by 2023 or 24. I remember which one I seen.
Yeah.
I never imagined that he would triple this in a month.
But if anyone deserves it, he does. First off, the effort he puts into it. Dude, the effort he puts into bringing the community together, and he's just a fucking legit good dude, on and off screen. You know that.
He's just likable, man. He just got that it factor. He just got that certain something, man. People like him. People are drawn to him. They're drawn to his show.
It's because he's so laid back and cool, and like I said, easygoing. He's genuine. That's the thing. That's the keyword. He's genuine.
You was bullshitting you, didn't you? That he was up over 13 now. I didn't realize he was almost at 14.
I didn't really know. I knew because I follow Coriander on Instagram too, and I knew he just crossed a threshold. But holy shit, fucker's only already like nearly 14.
3 days in a row, he crossed 1,000 each day.
It's amazing. I wonder if he even realizes it.
Yes.
He probably does, because I know he did a stream earlier tonight. I didn't watch it. I was busy, but they were discussing Orca, which is a favorite of mine.
Yeah, here, let me read you real quick the message that I sent to him in congratulating him. Damn it, where is it? Do I get Instagram on this one? Shit, I don't know if I can type this one up here because I didn't use Instagram on this, or did I? I don't know. This is a new phone. This is my other phone that I use for actually doing shit. Something besides I got Twitter on here. I don't see my Instagram though. It's on the other one. But I could almost I pretty much I wish I could remember word for word, man, because it took me a few minutes to write that message to him because I really wanted to come through with a few points. I really wanted him to see that how proud of him I was,
Mm-hmm.
and how much respect I had, and how much I really meant that, that I was
Yeah.
proud.
Yeah.
So when you get a chance, check it out, man.
I will.
It's just sending him that message really really mattered to him.
Mm-hmm. No, he's a legit good dude. I can vouch for him, 100%.
Me and him kind of started at the same time. At the
Mm-hmm.
same time as I was starting is when that shit happened and they took his channel away. As soon as
Yeah.
he hit 1,000, they took his channel away, and that was about the time I was starting. So we started coming up together,
Mm-hmm.
and we became friends and worked together a lot during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And we still do. He's got all
Same
these
here.
subs, yet he
Yep.
still don't mind working with little Gorfield. That tells you what
Nope.
kind of dude he is.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like working with Motel 9, just different bunch of people. Most of the people I work with dwarf me in subs and shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's never even discussed. It's like they never even.
No,
I'm
it's
impressed with
it's
that.
it's just friends talking movies. That's all it is, dude.
They don't view me as being a small channel.
Nope.
As a matter of fact, Katie from Bobbing the Popcorn says I'm the most underrated YouTuber on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she said.
Yeah, you and Ginger Ninja both. I've always said that.
He's one of the nicest people I've met too, man.
Yep.
He's so cool. He's so loyal. He's always right there, man. He
Mm-hmm.
supports me. Even no matter what I did, he would support me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so fucking cool, man.
Yep.
Here he is. Here we're fucking we're talking about him and shit. And there he is.
No,
We're
like I
talking about you,
said,
man.
it's a good community that we have. You know what I
I wish
mean?
I had your accent, brother.
Yeah,
I
it's a
wish I
good,
had his accent. I love that accent.
it's a great community that we have. You know, our little circle that we
That's
have.
why the 2 or 3 piss me off. The 2 or 3 that want to interrupt that fucking makes me mad, man. It's like
Yeah.
if you're gonna do that, then don't be involved.
Mm-hmm. I get you.
You know, because the rest of us, we enjoy what we do. We enjoy getting along.
Mm-hmm.
Why not if you can?
Right.
That's my saying of the day. Why not if you can?
Mm-hmm. Put
But
that on a
anyway,
t-shirt.
so what do you got coming up, man? Tell us what you
Oh
got.
shit. Okay. Tomorrow night is going to be for Two Bearded Losers, our official Christmas episode. We are going to shine a little spotlight on a movie from 2018 called Secret Santa. It is a film.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah, I like Frenzy's a good dude.
Yeah.
Secret Santa came out in 2018, directed by Anna Marcus, who directed Jason Goes to Hell. Very cool dude. And Secret Santa, it's a horror movie that he wrote with his wife. She stars in it, and it's about Christmas time, and it's already a family on the rocks, and they drink some punch that is laced with a drug, and it turns them into psychotic killers, and they all go after each other, and it's a lot of fun, and we loved it. It has nothing to do with me interviewing Adam Marcus or our love for Jason Goes to Hell. We're legit fans of this movie, and we want to shine a spotlight on it. So that's tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on my channel. Hey, Internet Eric here. Me without Two Bearded Losers, because we're going to take a little bit of break for Christmas. I'm almost done discussing the Kickboxer series. I am going to, after that, the next franchise I delve into is going to be Underworld.
Okay.
Because I've only seen the first 3 of those. I really enjoy them. Then I'm going to delve into the Starship Troopers franchise, just because why not? I love the first one. And then I know for my Christmas episode, I don't know when I'm going to upload it. Based on recommendation from Mike from American Werewolf in New Jersey, I'm going to watch for the first time and discuss I Trapped the Devil, which I've never seen.
I want to see that too.
Yeah, he's been barking at me for the longest time to watch that. Per his request, I'm going to discuss that for Christmas. And then also, just to take a little bit of a break from just discussing movies, I do have a video planned where I'm going to show off some little figures of mine that I've got from a friend. He makes these little resin figurines. Like this is the Wolf Man from the Monster Squad.
That's like some shit Phil would have.
Yeah, and it's just all the stuff that I bought from him over the past year or so, just to give him a bit of a spotlight because he does fantastic work. And I'm
Yeah.
also going to do an autograph video of different autographs that I've gotten from deathmatch wrestlers because I'm big into death matches, but also some horror actors and actors. Like I got a couple Bill Mosleys, a couple Kane Hodder's, a couple Friday the 13th girl autographs and stuff like that. So just to kind of break up the monotony of just discussing movies.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a new collection room video too. I forgot to add that in. I haven't done one in over a year, and it's changed a lot. I've started collecting wrestling figures now.
Very cool.
So you should, and yeah, my room's changed a lot. People are gonna be blown away when they see what I've done with it and the changes in it. So yeah, I'm curious to compare our because I have an autograph wall. I'm curious to see who you got, and I'll show you who I got.
I have more wrestlers than I have more wrestlers than I have horror movie people, but a lot of it is like a couple like Friday the 13th victims. Like I have what is her name? Is it Marcy from part 1, the one that gets the axe in the head? I do have her, Marcy, and I have a couple others that are pretty cool.
I always call Marcy Perky.
Yeah, she is.
But, she makes the great. I hate to get dirty. She makes the greatest sex noises, man. Even though she was acting, I loved her noises. Okay, I'm no.
And on that note, this show's for kids.
All right, man. But yeah, you're invited to the wrestler. You're also invited to the Almost Famous. If you want to do that one too, since you like that.
I'll try my best. Work is nuts, and some other stuff I'll discuss with you off camera is nuts right now, but I will do my best.
That'll work, man. We always stay in touch anyway.
Yeah, we do. We text all the time on Instagram. I might as well just give you my fucking phone number. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I'll get hold of you here in a little bit, or if you're gonna crash out, I'll get hold of you tomorrow, or whatever, and we'll talk this over or whatever.
Okay.
Thanks to everybody for joining us. Once again, I always appreciate it. You guys know that. Always much love from me. Eric has been joining us. Of course, I am Gorophobe, and you guys are not. Have a great evening.
Cheers.
Stick with me for a minute.
You got it.